Can you just show everybody that's watching if you just turn around slightly?
The point of wearing it this way was not so I had to show you. Yeah, thank you very much for that, mate. I've got 1 9 on the back of my top.
We've been busy boys, haven't we?
Yes,
really busy.
I
don't think you can really criticise the owners that they've said they're going to go out and spend money, and I think we've spent the most in Europe, in fact, in the world.
What a signing! That actually could even be considered the signing of the window, considering the type of club and the calibre of the player.
I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and answer the question myself first. I think everyone's probably going to steal it, but it's got to be Arsenal.
Yeah,
I think it has to be Arsenal. Like, what are they doing, man?
And Arsenal just seem to be, like I said, dropping that extra league position every single time, and it has to be worrying as a fan.
Genuinely, I don't know. This might be the most intriguing relegation battle that I think I've ever witnessed. If they go down, Agent Rafa needs a statue, 100%.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Everton.
Silly question for me, isn't it? Has to be Alan Shearer. Has to be Alan Shearer. Coming back to his boyhood club.
By the way, I did buy a Croatian flag, and that is now swiftly. It'll be in the bin soon. It's just on the floor over there. Right, hello and welcome back to another episode of Fan Zone, the Premier League talk show by the fans, for the fans, here on the Fans Bet YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're joined by Newcastle fan Kris from the Gallowgate Shots and debutant Drifty from Liverpool group Kopish, and I am, of course, Joe from Burnley podcast, TurfCast. But let's get right into it then, chaps. How would you rate your club's transfer window out of 10? And seeing as it's yours debut, Drifty, I'm going to start with you. So how would you rate your Liverpool's transfer window out of 10, pal?
Pleasure to be here, by the way. Big up. I know obviously my first time, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, Liverpool's transfer window. Until about a week ago, we didn't think we were going to do anything. The way we operate as a club, there isn't even any rumours that go around about our club. So we don't even get anything to be half excited about. So when the Diaz stuff came out, as you lot know, it was like, hold on a minute, Liverpool are going to hijack the deal. The deal's been hijacked. So it happened so quickly, it wasn't even a roller coaster. It was like a whirlwind. So we went from like nothing to euphoria. So it felt like a 10 out of 10. And I wanted Diaz badly from about maybe a year ago even. So I'm over the moon from a personal point of view. But then the Carvalho situation just maybe gave it a little low at the end where we thought we were going to get him. And it went from 1 to 2 and then it was back down to 1 again. But when you let the dust settle, it was a brilliant window, bringing in a player of Diaz's quality. He's a really, really good talent. And I think he'll take us to the next level now in terms of our forward line. I mean, I think we'll get Carvalho done in the summer from what things are seeming like. They took Nico Williams already, so hopefully that sweetens the deal even more. So apparently we can get a deal done with them behind the scenes for July when his contract runs out. Well, they'll still get money for him. So hopefully that gets done. And I'd give it an 8 out of 10, I would say. Basically, we covered a position we've needed to cover for about 2 years now, which is one of the forward players. And if we get Carvalho, like I said, I'll still count that as January because it's when we started negotiations. So I'll say 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. He's a good player as well, is Diaz. So, yeah, I think it's good business. Kris, what about yourself?
We've been busy boys, haven't we?
Yeah,
really busy.
You?
We needed it. We needed a lot of change at the club in regards to playing staff. We got it, obviously, first signing being Kieran Trippier coming through the door. Chris Wood stole him from Burnley, right under your noses as well. If I'm marking it out of 10, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 as well. I think cherry on top of the cake would have been Jesse Lingard. Bringing him in wasn't meant to be. All know the reasons why because of that one, but I think I'm being really picky here. And I know we've had a fantastic window, but I'm still a little bit worried about scoring goals. Chris Wood, we've seen him a few times play for Newcastle now, and he hasn't really had a shot on target, to be honest with you. But is that because he's playing up top by himself? It might be different when Wilson's back and he's got, obviously, these new players alongside him. But I think our business in January has been fantastic, to be honest with you. I don't think you can really criticize the owners that they've said they're going to go out and spend money, and I think we've spent the most in Europe, in fact in the world, in January. I think it's 90 odd million which was spent, which if you look back 12 months ago, who would have thought Newcastle would be spending this much money at all?
Yeah, fair. I think you brought in some decent players. I mean, I was a bit gutted that we lost Wood, but at the same time, I kind of feel like he's so indifferent. He can go either way for you. But Trippier is brilliant. Guimaraes is even better. I think there's some good players there. Target and Wood, I think, are there a little bit indifferent. Target's consistent, but not too consistent. If that makes sense. He's good on his day. As for Burnley, I think I'm going to be the one to bring it back down to earth. A bit typical Burnley fan when talking about transfers. You two obviously going for 8s. 50% of that are 4. I'm happy with Weghorst, as you can see, with the Holland flag behind me. I think he's a good signing in himself. When I look at it on the scheme of things, I think he's probably just about better than Wood. So if we look at it from the start of the transfer window and where we are now, we're probably a little bit stronger, like minuscule stronger. But the problem with us was the creativity. That's why Wood wasn't scoring goals at Burnley this season. We weren't creating enough for him. All right, he missed a couple of chances here and there. One at Man United springs to mind, and one against Leeds. But the quality wasn't there in midfield, and we needed a new winger and definitely a central midfielder. The Orsic deal falling through was an absolute killer. It ruined us, I think. And I think if we'd have got him, it'd have been different. I'd probably been talking about a 7. And by the way, I did buy a Croatia flag, and that is now swiftly. It'll be in the bin soon. It's just on the floor over there. So I'm pretty disappointed in the grand scheme of things, but I'm happy with the striker that we brought in.
Joe, has it worried you a little bit? Because obviously Newcastle and Burnley on similar situations now in the relegation fight. Has it worried you a little bit how much investment has been put into the likes of Newcastle's team to obviously try and get them that little bit higher out the league?
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously, I still think it's one of 4. People have been talking about Everton getting dragged into it, but I always felt they'd sack Benitez and pull away. And people talk about Brentford. I just feel they've got enough points on the board. You never know. They might go absolute capitulation, but I just can't see it. I do think it's one of 4, and I do think Newcastle are the favourites and should rightly be the favourites to get out of it. My only hope is that a lot of the new players take a while to gel. Like I said, I think I said it on a different show, but I think Guimaraes is brilliant. He will be a Champions League player one day. It's just whether he can do it at Newcastle or how long it takes to acclimatise to the Premier League. But of course, you can say the same for Weghorst because he's coming in from the Bundesliga. So it's a similar sort of thing. So I'm just hoping that the Newcastle lads take too long to gel, and by then, you're in too much trouble to get out of it. Obviously, that's my Burnley's side of it. But yeah, I think Newcastle, the investment does worry me, definitely. And I think it does with everyone down there. I think it should rightly do as well.
I think it's a huge game coming up as well for both of ourselves when it's Newcastle v Everton next Tuesday. If Newcastle get all 3 points on that one, that brings Everton straight back into it, mate. So Everton aren't out of it yet, and I think that there's quite a few fans of other clubs away from Everton that are thinking, is Lampard really going to turn it around?
I'm not. I know what you mean, because I think he can do well. I don't know. It's weird, the Everton managerial appointment, Lampard, as you say, because I thought they'd go for someone a little bit, more experienced or something like that, or but with Lampard, I think he will do well eventually, but I just think he needs time. Can Everton give him that time? That's the thing with me. So I think he will do okay eventually, and I think they'll have enough to stop up, and then he'll push on next season, to be honest. But I see what you're saying.
Sorry, mate.
No, so go on, mate. Go on.
No, I was going to change topic. Go, carry on.
Oh no, just quick, because this might be the best opportunity for me to actually ask this question. Is it true that Burnley actually did just say you can have him with the whole Wood situation, or did they trigger the release clause? Like, what is the actual truth behind?
Yeah, they triggered the release clause. I think I name dropped quite a few times when I come on Fans Bet, but my friend is he's quite. I won't say he's. Well, he cuts the hair for a lot of Burnley players, and he has cut Chris Wood's hair, and he went to cut Chris Wood's hair on the night that he actually signed for Newcastle. At a hotel in Newcastle, and my friend was like, "What happened then?" He's like, "Honestly, I didn't even know anything about it myself. Just they triggered the release clause, so there's nothing we can do." So he just
a little bit of controversy around that, though, isn't there? Because apparently that the release clause could only be triggered in the summer. So it's a strange one.
It's. I think obviously going off what Chris Wood said himself, I think that would obviously just be a rumor that wasn't true. I think obviously the release clause was there, and Newcastle triggered it. Well, what else can we do in that situation? It's not. We can't turn around and just say to him like, "No, you can't go." The best we could have done is say, "Well, what can we do to keep you?" sort of thing. But Burnley must have just thought, "Well, he's not doing that well this season for us. Maybe we just take the money and try and invest it in the squad." And obviously that's what they did to some point. But obviously they were trying to invest in it more. But the deal fell through with Orsic, as I've said.
Do you think you're in a better position now with Chris Wood leaving and replacing him?
Very slightly. Like I said, I liked Wood, and I'm not going to start throwing any shade and saying like you signed a bad player, because I don't think you have. I just think when he gets his goal, he will score a lot. He's such a confidence player. You'll see it over the next few years. Like, obviously, if he has a run in the team, like if he's playing badly, he's playing badly.
Can you just show everybody that's watching if you just turn around slightly?
The point of wearing it this way was not so to show anyone. Yeah, thank you very much for that, mate. I've got 1-9 on the back of my top. I'm going to take it down to the clubhouse, to the club shop next week and get it taken off. But genuinely, I am after going to buy a new shirt because I can't keep wearing this. It'll be summer again soon, and I won't have a shirt to wear. So thankfully, I didn't get a name on the other. I've never got a name on it for years as well. I've not done it for years, and for some reason, I just thought, yeah, go on, I like Woody. Because Burnley fans would always fall out over Kris Wood, and I'd always have to defend him, which you'll probably find Newcastle end up doing. And I was always defending him, so I thought, I'll back him, I'll get him. And then next thing you know, he's off. But we got 25 million. I think getting 25 million for him and buying somebody who could be a more prolific striker if he hits the ground running in the Premier League is good business from us. But I think it's not enough. I think ultimately, with the lack of midfielders coming in, it's probably going to cost us.
Yeah. So it's sticking with transfers, obviously just been January transfer window there. I'll come to you, Drifty. Who do you think's been the signing of the window?
Am I going to come across biased if I say Diaz?
You're not allowed to pick a player from your team.
Oh, okay. All right, well then, that's easy then. Coutinho going to Aston Villa.
Yeah,
I think that was absolutely brilliant business by them. Obviously, the Gerrard pull, again, it's going to sound like I'm being biased, but anybody would want to play for that guy. Absolute legend. And I just feel like he'll elevate Villa. See, the thing with, I think this is what would have been big about Ronaldo going to Man City. I don't think he would have actually added that much on the pitch because I think he's at the end of his career now. But the fact he was there would have just elevated Man City on a world level because everybody would pay attention to Man City now who didn't know who they were before because Ronaldo fans would follow him. So they'd gain a fan base in that way. And I think Coutinho isn't anywhere near on that level of fandom, but I think he'll do that for Villa. There's going to be people now from Brazil and other countries who didn't really know who Villa were that will now watch Villa because he's there. So it elevates Villa in that way. They'll be able to now bring other players in if they get to keep him because you can now say, not only are you going to play for Gerrard, you're going to play with Coutinho. And we've seen over the years, players need that to encourage them to go places. So that was brilliant business. And I think Aston Villa did really well on that one.
What a great window. Joe?
Yeah, well, you've stolen man there. I was going to say Coutinho, so I'll try and go somewhere different. Verkhaus, can I say him? No? Okay. Well, there's so many interesting ones, and I'm going to go with Guimaraes at Newcastle just simply because I really like the look of him. I have to watch like Bundesliga and Liga and stuff for work. I have seen a lot of him. I do like him. It's just I'm intrigued by him. I'm intrigued by Donny van der Beek. I'm intrigued by Dele Alli as well. I'm intrigued by them all, and I like Diaz at Liverpool as well, as you've been saying. There's just something about Guimaraes that I'm really looking forward to see. In a weird way, looking forward to see if he can do well, but kind of hoping that he doesn't as well. It's a weird situation, but I'm going to go Guimaraes simply because I can't go Coutinho. But like I said, there's so many interesting ones out there. It's so different how they're going to gel into the new teams, and the next couple of months are going to be really interesting with that.
I think you're probably right, and I think it's such a shock signing for Newcastle as well. So many other clubs interested in him. Arsenal apparently interested in him. His announcement video that his social media team put together when he signed for Newcastle had little digs at Arsenal in there as well. Juventus apparently interested in him. So for Newcastle to get a player of this quality with this potential, it's blew my mind. Of course it has. And I'm the same as you. I'm really interested to see what he can do in the Premier League. For me though, I'm going to go a little bit out of the Premier League. I'm going to say Ramsey at Rangers.
Yeah, not a bad shout, to be fair. We were after him, but obviously he decided to go to Rangers, and you can kind of see why, to be fair.
It's probably, do you think it's the pull of Champions League football?
That's pull of Champions League football, 100%, and playing in front of 50,000. Or, no disrespect to him, and again, I'm not throwing shade, but when I say throwing shade, I mean, I'm not even throwing shade at my own club, is what I mean. But if you can either play in front of 22,000 and get in a proper grit, roll your sleeves up, fight for survival, or go to a club, play in front of 50,000, only have really 4 competitive games a season in the league, and then play in the Champions League as well. You're obviously going to pick that option, aren't you? So I kind of understand why he's done it. And I think what's interesting about that one, though, is the Rangers, I believe, are paying the full 400,000. Now, I don't understand how they can do that if that is the case. Again, I don't know if it's incorrect reports. So it's interesting to see what goes on there, especially with the troubles that they've had financially over the last
Mm.
15 years or whatever, the previous reincarnation of them. So it's interesting, that one. But yeah, we'll see. He'll rip it up there. I really think he will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
good ban.
it once again it could have been the fact that was any of that team seriously interested in him obviously bring them in. Hasn't really had much game time over Juve, and maybe obviously, like I said, the Champions League has thought we'll try we look, but we'll move back to the to the UK and we'll try we look there, and I think that's probably what it is.
I think he
Yeah,
wants to
probably
make
right.
sure he's winning at this stage of his career as well. So again, without disrespect to the Burnleys and the Crystal Palaces and the other teams who were linked with him, at Rangers, he's almost guaranteed a trophy, or it's at least 50-50 he'll win something. And at his age, he's probably thinking, I've just got to win as much as I can now. Because again, without shade, what did he win at Arsenal, which is where he spent the majority of his career? Like he didn't really, 2 FA Cups or 1 FA. So he's probably thinking, I need to win as much as I can now before the end of my career. So I think that's why Rangers were his pick as well.
Yeah, just with obviously sticking with this little thing, is there any other one that gets a special mention? Because I've got one, and it's going to be a bit of a shock for you. Sunderland bringing Jermaine Defoe back.
Yeah, that were a turn up for the books, weren't it? Did you see that the Bedlam from Sunderland as well? It were incredible. Some of the videos on social media last night.
Yeah,
I mean, we were just saying off air. Like, I actually, I was just saying off air. I actually lived in Sunderland for a year. So I kind of,
sorry,
I won't say I have yeah. So I won't say I have a soft spot for them. I've always been sort of like interested to see how they did, sort of thing. So I'm interested to see how he's going to do there. I'm a bit disappointed Diaz didn't leave Blackburn. Ben Beretta Diaz. I'm a bit disappointed he didn't leave Blackburn. That's my most disappointing thing this transfer window, because we can't go down and they go up. No chance. I'll just turn my internet off for a year and just live like a recluse, I think.
I'd probably say you guys getting Trippier would get a special mention, because there was a lot of big clubs chasing him, including Man United. So I think it went a little bit under the radar that Newcastle pulled off a coup there. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say that one deserves a special mention.
Yeah. He's been great as well since he came in.
Yeah, he's classy, Trippier. Like, obviously, Burnley connection as well. Lovely lad. He's a top bloke, Trippier. Good player. He's just so underrated as well. Like, Spurs fans didn't like him. Atletico fans were a little bit indifferent to him. But he's really, really good for me.
Yeah. So guys, sticking with the best, let's move on to team rather than individual. Which team do you guys think have had the best transfer window?
You know what? I'll just jump in now and get it out of the way. I'm going to say Newcastle. Again, I've already spoken why, so I don't really know what much more I go into. I like the look of the midfield lad. I think he's brilliant. We've just literally spoken about Trippier. I think I was saying off air, weren't I? The only two that I have my concerns over are Chris Wood and Target. But, they're both decent on the day. So even the ones that are like, maybe not that good, you're still going to see them play well and score goals in Chris Wood's case, or defend really well in Target's case. So for me, Newcastle, and I think obviously I'm bringing into the fact in the position that they're in as well. I think if they were 6 or something like that, I wouldn't be as impressed with it. It's because of the position that they're in, and you're thinking, right, they probably really are serious about dragging themselves out of it here, much to obviously our disappointment, probably.
I think Target as well. I think he did not get player this season last season.
I believe he did actually. To be fair, yeah.
It just hasn't happened this season. So he's going to have a fight for that left back position. Especially, it sounds ridiculous, but Javier Manquillo played an absolute fantastic game when he came on against Leeds a couple of weeks ago. So I think there's a little bit of fight there at the left back position. A little bit of controversy at Newcastle for that position as well, because Jamal Lewis, who was signed from Norwich last season, I think it was the season before possibly, won't have a squad number apparently. So he refused to go out on loan. Birmingham came in, offered him a loan place, and he refused to go out on loan, along with Kieran Clark, who also refused to go to Middlesbrough on loan. So
you can understand that, to be fair.
No, you're living in the same house though. If you're a professional footballer and you're guaranteed game time at a club, I don't understand why you wouldn't go. You can live in the same house, drive down to Middlesbrough. It's 45 minutes, an hour away, straight back. It's a strange.
Tell you what interested me, Newcastle. The lad you sent to Mansfield in League Two, Rick Longstaff.
Matty Longstaff, yeah.
I was just like, what? Surely he's better than League Two. Like, again, not throwing shade to any Mansfield fans watching, but I would have thought,
he's just been up to Scotland. He was up at Scotland the first half of the season, and it never worked for him there. Wasn't getting much game time. I can't remember. It might have been Aberdeen he was at. I'm sure it was Aberdeen. Fell out of favour there. Wasn't getting game time. Questioned about it by the media to Aberdeen's manager, asking why he wasn't getting the game time. And he just said, I would prefer that he was doing more in training. So make that what you would. Make that what you would.
Yeah, I'll look out for how he's doing in League Two, definitely.
If I'm going to pick a team that's probably performed the best in the transfer window, and I can't pick Newcastle United, I'm probably going to go Villa. They've done really well. We mentioned it earlier that the marquee signings that they brought in, Coutinho, absolutely. Obviously, the pull of Steven Gerrard is probably what's taking Coutinho there, but obviously he gets a goal on his debut as well, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And I think if they can keep a hold of him come the end of the season, like Drifty was saying, then it's going to attract even better players at Villa. Hate is to say it, because Newcastle United fans and Villa fans don't necessarily get on, but they've done really well this transfer window. You have to take your hat off to them.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't disagree with that.
I mean, I echo Villa. Although, if Newcastle stay up, I might change my mind. So it's a question I think I would answer at the end of the season as well, because what Newcastle have done has been brilliant. And if they stay up, then it's outstanding business, because it's what they needed to do. And then obviously then the real work starts and everybody gets scared. So for now, I'm going to say Villa as well. I agree with Villa, but Newcastle did really well. So I think we'll have to pay attention to that one at the end, really.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on the other side then, who do you think's had the worst? And I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and answer the question myself first. I think everyone's probably going to steal it, but it's got to be Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Arsenal. Like, what are they doing, man? They're getting rid of the... All right, he's fell out of favour. I appreciate that. He's not gone on with the manager, but they're selling Aubameyang to Barcelona. Has that even been confirmed yet, by the way?
I think, is he just out on loan? Was he out on loan?
No. Free transfer. They literally cancelled his... They literally cancelled his contract and let him go. 29 million is going to save them apparently in wages.
Yeah, and so Arsenal fans celebrating yesterday about saving wages, and obviously Arsenal fans love a civil war, and they're all arguing amongst themselves like, why are you celebrating about saving wages and we're not bringing anybody in? You need a player in. Like, they've really left themselves up the creek without a paddle, really. Bringing no one in. Did they? I don't think they brought anyone in, or just no one of real note.
Three players they brought in, no marquee signings, but I think it was 13 that left, possibly whether went on loan or obviously.
See,
that's honestly, I'm blown away by that.
Yeah,
I'm blown away that I didn't think it was a free transfer.
Yeah, literally.
Has to be Arsenal.
And he went over there, which was the really cheeky part. He did it on Wingy, and he actually went there, said he was visiting family, because conveniently he has got family that live in Barcelona. But we know he was making sure the medical went through before the transfer window closed. So
100%. He was desperate to get out of Arsenal. Desperate.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. This is one of the only times it's not the player's fault, because even though he was late and he was a bit unprofessional, I think the way he was forced out, when you look at other players like Xhaka, who've done things way more publicly and have been completely forgotten, I feel like there was a bit of a vendetta there from Arteta. And you look at Guendouzi and you look at Saliba and other players who he's given no chance. They've made one mistake and they're just out. And they're better players than the players he's given chances to. So I don't know what is going on with Arteta's power trip at Arsenal, but I definitely believe it's Arsenal as well. I agree with that.
It has to be worrying. If you're an Arsenal fan, it has to be worrying that you haven't brought... I know it's January, and January is always difficult. But the position that Arsenal are in, and they have been dropping for a number of seasons now, other clubs around them are getting better and better each season. And Arsenal just seem to be, like I said, dropping that extra league position every single time. And it has to be worrying as a fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's great though, isn't it? Sometime soon. Yeah, I mean, so outside looking in, it's always fun, especially for you top six fans who you've got a bit of beef with Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
There's not really much I can pipe up at any point to Arsenal, to be fair. So I'll just quietly watch and laugh.
No, but I agree, it's Arsenal. I definitely go with Arsenal. I think you could look at maybe one or two other clubs that have been way below par, like Tottenham and Man United, who should have probably done something to try and push to get into the top four. Especially Tottenham with Conte. I don't think they've backed him properly, and that one, you got to keep an eye on that one, because that could get sticky. We know what Conte's like. If he realizes you're not going to allow him to do what keeps his reputation where it should be, then he will leave. So they've got the biggest summer ever now to try and, do you know what I mean, and do something. But yeah, and you know what, so I know this is totally random, but it just came to me thinking of Tottenham. Eriksen going to Brentford. What a signing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's got his whole problems, but hopefully he is okay. What a signing. That actually could even be considered the signing of the window, considering the type of club and the caliber of the player.
I think the thing with Eriksen at Newcastle, well, apparently a lot of Newcastle fans would have liked to Newcastle try, but the fact he hasn't played football for so long, it's going to take a little while for him to get match fit. And in a relegation fight, the likes of Newcastle or Burnley had a brought a player who hasn't played in a long time. It's not going to work. So it's a great sign for Brentford. It really is. Obviously, the ties with the manager and the head coach there is probably what's obviously attracting them there. But it's a great signing. It of course is.
Definitely.
So now that's the window all closed, okay, and there's a reason why there's a Newcastle United fan and a Burnley fan on here. Who do you think is going to get relegated? Which are the three teams? Let's go, you, Joe.
Oh, fair enough. I was going to say, should have just given it Drifty then, so I could have just prepared myself to have to say this. But I just don't think we've done enough in this transfer window. I really don't. I can't see us getting out of it. People always say like, oh yeah, but Burnley, they've been in this so many times. They've got the experience. You've got Dash. You know you're just going to keep plucking away. You know you're just going to keep grinding out wins because you've got defensively solid. But we've not seen that this season. We've just not seen what we normally are this season. We've not been defensively solid. There's been flashes of defensive solidness, the draw at Arsenal, draw at Chelsea. But the biggest two games of the season, when we went away to Newcastle hadn't won a game all season. We only won one. And we just weren't up for it. We couldn't be arsed. Like, Newcastle didn't really play that well. Obviously, he scored the goal from the mistake by Pope. But it was just poor all round from Burnley. It was just a terrible football game. Poor. We just weren't up for it. Then 3 or 4 weeks later, we played Leeds away. If we'd have won, we'd have brought the gap down to 2 points. And then they won, obviously, and the gap went to 8 points. They just weren't up for it at all. There's just no fight in the squad whatsoever. So for me, I feel like the writing's on the wall. The only thing is, obviously, losing Wood has forced us to do something a little bit different. I felt we were going down with Wood. So, keeping him and just doing the same things and not bringing anyone else in, we've definitely gone down. So my only slight hope now is the new lad comes in and it changes things a little bit, and we end up, putting a run together. But yeah, I think for me, it's going to be us, Norwich and Watford, but I don't think we'll be bottom. I think Norwich or Watford will be bottom. Fingers crossed.
Do you think it works in your favour that you've obviously Burnley or what you just said is a dead bottom now at the minute, but you've got like September, October, November, December, January in hand compared to everybody else? You've got about 50 games in hand. Is that going to work in your favour, or are you playing the chasing game now?
Yeah, you're playing the chasing game. And Dash is very good with, getting mental messages into the players. This could work in our favour, being the bottom of the league, and, we're playing catch up. You know what you need to do, but you'd rather have points on the board in a relegation battle, surely. Pretty much, or in any battle, top 4 battle, title battle, surely you'd rather have points on the board than having, the pressure on you to going out there. Like this weekend, we're playing against Watford. It's going to be a massive game again. So maybe the reasons
huge game for Newcastle not even playing it.
Yeah. So maybe the reasons why we were so poor against Newcastle and Leeds is because the pressure was too much. And then we'll see this weekend. So, like I said, fingers crossed the new lad can hit the ground running. And then ask me again in 3 months, if he's scored 15 goals already, I might be sitting in 8th, laughing my head off at this, the fact that I was even worried. But, it's very, very unlikely, I think, that we'll get out of it now. But yeah, we have a bit of hope due to the new lad, but we would have liked more signings, as I said earlier in the show.
Yeah. Looking from the outside in, Drifty. In your nice ivory tower, sat up there, top 6.
I know it looks ivory and it makes me look very unappreciative, but knowing we're not going to win the league, or it's very unlikely we'll win the league, is still really disappointing. But obviously that's a conversation for another day. This is a tough one because, as I said to you guys off camera, half my family's from the Northeast, County Durham, so majority of them are Newcastle fans. So I have an affiliation with Newcastle. So I'm feeling this a little bit on a personal level as well, as much as you can for what you call your second club. So I want Newcastle to guarantee they're going to get out of this. But then you never know. Burnley, they're used to this in terms of they've got the stomach for it. So even though they look doomed at the moment, they could easily get out of this. Sean Dyche is a guy who knows how to do this. They got relegated once and he learned from it, and then you haven't been relegated again for 6 or 7 years since the last time.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we've been here for quite a while now. 6 seasons, I think this is.
He's 100% used to this and knows what to do. And then you've got players managers like Roy, who kind of know how to do this as well. So could he turn the fortunes around? I mean, look what Dean Smith's doing at Norwich. 1 minute they look dead and gone. Now they're winning games. I genuinely, and I'm not trying to cop out, I don't think I can actually say who's going down right now. I don't know. This might be the most intriguing relegation battle that I think I've ever witnessed. I thought Norwich were gone. If you'd have asked me this 2 months ago, I would have said, done. There is not a chance. But now, you just don't know. Like, yeah, I genuinely, I'm not even trying to sit on the fence. I really,
There's
really
always,
don't
Drifty,
know.
there's always that one team that gets dragged into it. Could
Yeah,
that be Brentford?
possibly,
They
possibly.
lost
I mean,
6 of the last 7.
I haven't got the table in front of me. But the last time I checked, there was another club that I can't remember who they were, but I remember thinking, oh, if everyone puts a little run together, even they could get dragged into it. Who was it? There was another club. You just don't know. You just so honestly,
Everton and Leeds are still just on the edge, aren't they? But I just feel that I just can't see us winning enough games to even catch Brentford. I can't see us winning enough games. We've won one all season. We played, 18, 17, I think we played at the minute. Newcastle have won twice all season. All right, they'll probably end up going on a bit of a better run now. They have a better squad. But Norwich, I'm not sure how many they've won. But the four down below have been so poor. I just can't see us pulling away, really, and catching them this season, to be honest. So Brentford could get dragged into it. Leeds could, but you always feel like they'll be okay. And with Everton, I've always felt that they'd be okay. Obviously, as you've already said, Kris, massive game for them. You could drag them right back into it, but I still think they'll be right, even if you beat them.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced with Everton. I'm really
You know what?
not.
I don't have any issues with Everton. If anything, I would say I kind of like them in a way, but it would be such a story if they went down. It would be absolutely brilliant. And if they went down, it'd take the story off us a little bit if we went down as well. So fingers crossed to do it.
100%. Agent, if they go down, Agent Rafa needs a statue. 100%.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Everton. I mean, obviously for natural reasons, I can't stand them anyway. But after last season, when they acted like it was okay to assault Thiago and Van Dijk and ruin our season, because effectively it was them who ruined our season with those 2 injuries in that one game. Yeah, nothing. It couldn't happen to a better team. I really, really hope Everton go down.
Just see what you think, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, they think the same about us, so you know what I mean. It's not like any of them are gonna be shocked at what I'm saying. Agent Rafa, he knew what he was doing. He went in, you know what I mean, and they're crumbling. And now he came back into Liverpool dressing room afterwards. We all gave him a hug and said, "Well done, son."
I'm
boy.
with you. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to pick in regards to who's going down. Obviously, I don't want to see Newcastle now. I can't see Newcastle. I don't have it in us. You'd hope that the signings that we'll have brought in will give us that bit of a spring in our step now. We didn't get that initial bounce when Eddie Howe came in, so hopefully these new players can do that for us. I'm gonna definitely put Watford and Norwich in there. I can't see Norwich as, obviously, like you've said, Smith went in and done really well, picked up a handful of wins there, but I just can't see that happening for the rest of the season. That'll drop down off towards the end of the season. So Norwich and Watford, then it's that third place for me. I'm not sure who it's going to go to.
It's definitely going to be interesting, man. So guys, let's just finish off with a little bit of Premier League retro fun. I'll start with you, Joe. Who would you say is your best ever signing in Premier League history?
You know what? Ask me again in 6 months, and I might say Maxwell Cornet, because he's come in, he's been absolutely fantastic. You know, he's the type of player that you don't see at Burnley very often, like in terms of style of play, and in terms of sort of like where we bought him from, because obviously he came over from Lyon. I think they're in the Champions League. I'm not sure actually, but like they've been in and around the Champions League for the past few seasons. He's done well in the Champions League, scored goals against City. So if he's still decent in 6 months and his quality gets us out of the trouble that we're in, then I probably will change my mind and say Maxwell Cornet. But for now, I think it's Stephen Defoe. He's another one. He came from a foreign club and he just come in and he was just immediately head and shoulders above the rest. Like there's been 2 like players that I proper idolise as a Burnley fan growing up. One's Robbie Blake and the other one's Stephen Defoe. They both have like that little bit of magic, you know what I mean? They both have something different. And when Stephen Defoe were on the pitch, you could just tell that he was head and shoulders above anybody else in Claret and Blue. And depending on the side we were playing, head and shoulders above anybody on the pitch, apart from pretty much the top 8 at the time. He was so good. How he ever ended up at Burnley, I do not know. And it's such a shame his career didn't go the way it was supposed to due to injuries and stuff. But he was a magician. He was brilliant. He scored a brilliant goal against Bristol City where he dinked it. He scored a brilliant goal against Hull City from distance. Free kick at Old Trafford. Just can't believe I nearly left that one out. Yeah, Stephen Defoe, he was sensational. We miss him. We really do. We could do with someone like him in the middle right now. Definitely.
Yeah. Chris, how about you, mate?
Silly question for me, isn't it? Has to be Alan Shearer. Has to be Alan Shearer. Coming back to his boyhood club, obviously record-breaking signing, and what he did on the field for Newcastle. Yes, he didn't win anything at the club, but you speak to Shearer and the amount of times that he's been asked the question, would you change things and gone to Man United, knowing that you would have won the trophies? And he said, I live my dream coming back to Newcastle and wearing the famous number 9 shirt in the black and white stripes. So it has to be Shearer. It's no contest whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I'm not even a Newcastle fan. From my point of view, begrudgingly, I don't like him as a person for what he stands for. But if I'm just going to be strictly talking football, then it's probably Luis Suarez. He came at a time when we were really down, and he was absolutely sensational for us. Nearly elevated us to a title, and he went on to Barcelona, and he went up to another level even. What a player he was. Yeah, it's just a shame he's not a nice person, you know what I mean, and all that scumbaggery stuff he did.
Fair enough though, in terms of quality, he's a good footballer, especially like you said, Barcelona. Yeah. Like, he was just such a joy to watch in the middle of MSN. He were class.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah. You ask me, maybe in a year or two's time, and it'd probably be one of them. But maybe because they're still playing, and that nostalgia's playing in my mind as well with Suarez. But what Salah's done, it's next level stuff. So it probably will be Salah, even in 6 months' time, if you ask me. But at the moment, I'd probably say, yeah, I mean, we only paid like 22 million for Suarez as well, which was like chump change if you really think about it. So
yeah. To be fair, you've got a lot to pick from, so it must be a difficult question for you, that one. Yeah. Me and Chris. Well, to be fair, Chris might have a lot to pick from, you know, in a few years, but you know, not so many to pick from for me. Thanks for joining us, boys. That wraps it up. Episode 10 of Fan Zone. Drop us a like if you've enjoyed it on the YouTube channel, on the video below. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the Fans Bet channel, and of course all the 3 channels involved. They'll all be linked down below. So yeah, in fact, boys, do you want to plug your social media channels as well, just in case someone's listening, they want to subscribe straight away? Chris, I'll start with you.
Yeah, you can find myself and the rest of the guys on Gallowgate Shots. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, mainly on YouTube at the minute. There's plenty of content going out there. Big things to come, hopefully, for Newcastle United and ourselves as a channel. So yeah, thanks.
Personally, it's Drifty _ish, ISH and then underscore if you want to find me. And my team, we're Kopish on all platforms, so Twitter, Team Kopish on YouTube. So yeah, come and check us out, man. Yeah,
fair enough. Check all the boys out, and of course, I am Joe Tom Red. Again, I have a personal YouTube channel as well, so just Joe Tom Red. And of course, TurfCast podcast. So come and join us as we battle against relegation. Who knows? The Dutch lad might come in and the fine Dutchman might save us. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining us, boys.
Peace.